Alright, so I'm going to give you a quick little tutorial on how I cut out my clip art. So the first thing I do, the very first thing I do is I upscale all of my clip art. I use Topaz Gigapixel and I upscale everything, and then I will bring it into Photoshop. So I go to File, New. I do a 12 by 12 with a 300 DPI. Then I go to File, Place Linked, and then I will pick out the clip art that I want to work on. And let's do this one for now. Now, I do shrink it down a little bit when I bring it into Photoshop, because as you can see, I usually get a line around mine, and I don't want that to show up in the final image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath that layer. I'm going to add a solid color in black and hit OK. I'm going to go back up here to my clip art layer. I'm going to get my magic wand tool, and I'm going to start clicking on all the white areas. And you want to make sure that you get in between any stems, in between the flowers, anywhere where there is white, you want to make sure that you click it. Let's see. I'm not going to get rid of that because I think that is more of a light brown. So I just hit Control Z to undo my last action. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. Now with all that selected, I am going to right click and I am going to inverse my selection and then hit Select and Mask. All right. Now that does a pretty good job. I am going to shift my edge a little bit inward. That's just going to bring the edges in. I'm going to do about 10%. And then for output selection, I'm going to do New Layer with a mask and hit OK. Now at this point, if there are any artifacts around my image that I want to delete, while I'm on the mask, I can use my black brush and I can delete anything I want. I could delete this line at this time if I wanted to. So I'm going to hit B to go to my brush. And I like to use a hard brush for this. So I am going to click with my black brush on this side, and then I'm going to go over here, hold down my shift and click again, and that's going to give me a straight line. I'm going to hold at the top, or I'm going to click at the top, and then I'm going to go to the bottom, hold my shift and click, and it will delete that line for me. So now I'm going to right click my layer mask and apply it to the image. Okay. So as you can see, it does a pretty good job. I'm going to go back to my magic wand tool and I'm going to click this white area to select it and then just hit delete. And then Control D to deselect it. I'm not going to worry about, usually I would fix this. I'm not going to worry about that right now, just for the sake of the tutorial. So now that I have it the way I want, I'm going to hold down my Control and click on my clip art layer. Okay. Now as you can see, there are some whiskers here. So with this selected, I'm going to hold Q. That's going to show me the selection. Now with my black, or with my white brush, I'm going to go in and I am going to paint over the whiskers because I do not want to lose them when I delete some of these white edges. So If there's anything, fine details, you can paint over that. So then I'm going to hit Q again to bring me back here. I'm going to go to Select, Modify, Contract. And then I'm going to start with 2 pixels. I'm going to hit OK. This is going to bring the selection in even more. Then I'm going to go to Select, Inverse, and just hit Delete. And then that's going to delete the white edges. I'm going to hit Control D to deselect. And as you can see, it brought the selection in even further to get rid of a lot of the white that was outlining this image. And it did not delete my whiskers. So I'm going to get rid of the black layer. That way you can see the selection. All right. So then what I do is I delete all the layers under my clip art. I'm going to hold down my control, highlight each one of them, and then just drag them to delete them. And this is the selection that I am left with. And then I'm going to go to File, Save As. And then I'm just going to save it in my folder that I have labeled Mama Mouse. I'm going to save it as a PNG. And that's it. So that is how I do my clip art, and hopefully that was helpful.